Hey everybody, it's Colin from How to Cultivate. Mitchell's over here behind the camera.
What's up, yo?
Hey, and today we're gonna talk you through a really great thing that we've discovered in planning for our spring gardening season. So it's still winter here. As you can see, snow on the ground, and that's actually the key to our little garden hack today. Where we are is we're in Mitchell's garden looking at an area that has not been super successful. It's been all in ground. Some things have flourished, but most things just aren't really working. But as you can see, it's set up nicely. We have about a 3-foot fence surrounding it. It's a really nice area. We've cultivated the soil. It's doing well on paper, but just things aren't growing. So we've decided to kind of revamp this area. And today we're gonna talk you through kind of our planning process, because this snow on the ground, this last fall of the winter snow, is what made it so easy to plan for our spring garden. So let's take a look. Stepping right in here, the first thing we figured out is to use this snow kind of as a fresh canvas to draw in where are our main paths and where are our planting areas, and then eventually where even are those raised beds gonna go. So all you really need for this is just a stick, like a broom handle, or we've got this piece of bamboo here, a garden stake. And then if you wanna be a little bit more precise, if you have a fenced in area like this, it's probably good to have a tape measure as well, just to make sure everything's fitting the way that you'd like it. So the first thing we did here was, before we even stepped in, we marked out our paths, and then once we got in here, we started stamping out the paths with our foot. So you can see all this foot traffic here has brought those paths down, and we've measured them out. These main paths are where we want to be able to bring things like a wagon in, or a wheelbarrow, or things like that, you know, buckets. And these are about 2.5 feet, this one here, and the one that I'm standing on. And then you also just want paths that you know you're just gonna be walking in. So maybe just a watering can or a shovel is all you need. And those are about 2 feet long, and you can see them in between here. Then, once we did that, we realized we want to use this fence to its best ability. So our first bed that we marked out here is about a 2-foot bed. This is still going to be in ground, or just maybe slightly raised a few inches up. And this follows right along the fence line here. So we'll be able to grow things up the fence. Mitchell, what's something that you think this would be a good area to grow?
I love to grow rattlesnake beans on fences. They do so well around here.
So perfect for something like beans or peas. This is gonna be excellent for that. So this goes all the way down, leading us to the thing that we really had to work around in this project. It was an existing part of this garden, which is this fig tree. As you can see, it kind of has its own little area over here, really nice. So we just sectioned that off, and that kind of determined where our path ended. So we have its own little area. Kind of there will be, you know, a little bit of foot traffic around here for trimming and harvesting. How does this fig tree usually do?
Oh, delicious.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
The fig jam you made? Mm-hmm. From this guy right here.
It's a Chicago hardy fig, so it does really well in these cold temperatures.
There you go. So we worked around this, making sure that we can walk around, trim, harvest, and then over here is where we started with the raised beds. So as you can see, this is a bit of a shorter area. So what we've decided, and we just drew it out here with the bamboo like this, is a 2-foot by 6-foot raised bed here. And we just marked the cross hatching here as areas that, you know, plants are gonna go in. So this will be maybe about a foot off the ground, and that's gonna allow us to build up a little bit better soil and go ahead and plant in there. So what's something you think a short bed would be good for? Like one thing you wanna grow a lot of?
Like a bush tomato?
There you go, yeah, like a small tomato.
Yeah, something you can walk around, won't get too tall.
That's right, yeah, like an indeterminate variety. So that'd be perfect. You could probably fit 3 or 4 good plants in a bed like that, so that'll be perfect. Really good, these raised beds also, you can set them up with T-post as you install them, and that makes it really easy to put things like any sort of trellis. This next part of the garden is kind of the main growing area. Here we have 3 2-foot by 8-foot beds, 1, 2, 3 right here, with those smaller paths in between. And this is gonna be where most of the growing happens. Anything that isn't gonna grow super big, like a pumpkin, or super duper tall, probably these beds will be perfect for. Things like peppers in the summer, lettuce in the spring, right? All sorts of different things at different times of year. What's something that you think these would be good for growing, Mitchell?
I like these long rows for things like corn, things like sunflowers, maybe okra, you know, things that get real tall, and you're gonna want a lot of room to walk around them.
Oh man, I would love to see some really tall sunflowers here on one of these, right? Kind of overlooking the whole garden. That'd be awesome.
Now, mammoth sunflowers.
Yeah, I think
always
we're
a
gonna
good
grow those
challenge
this year.
every summer.
So guys, we also wanted to look at where the sun's going, and it's in the evening now. So the sun, this gets really good sun. It comes right over here and then sets, as you can see, kind of this way. So this is oriented really well to get the needed, 8 or so hours of sunlight in the spring and even later in the year, a little bit more probably. Now, we wanted to keep the in-ground beds, like we said, along the fence we're doing one, and this area here, which is also sectioned off really nicely, is gonna be another in-ground bed. This is gonna be for really big things. We've talked about maybe a pumpkin patch. Maybe if you wanna grow a lot of one type of corn, this is your spot, right? So, ton of space here. I'd say this is at least maybe an 8 by 12 area or something like this. The only thing we might want to think of with this is putting a path down the middle so that you could reach both sides easily. But with an in-ground bed, it's a little less important to plan that. You can just leave in your planting strategy a little bit of space to walk through, as opposed to those raised beds. You definitely don't want to be standing in those. So this is kind of what we've decided to transform this area and make it way more productive this spring. And man, this snow just made it so easy. Just took us about an hour, a little bit of measuring, a little bit of planning, and now we have this area just marked out perfectly. And we'll keep you guys updated as we continue to build the beds, plant it out, and maybe even give you a transformation video when it's all done. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this helped. Go ahead and get out before the snow melts and plan out your spring garden. And happy cultivating, everyone.